Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Alex here, and as you can see, there is a wall in front of me, and I'm not on the usual island. I am in my creative world with all the stuff that I go through on a Minecraft daily basis. And what I want to do is, there's not really a method to the madness when it comes to building castles. I mean, it's more, it's something beginners can do and probably have done. And there's also great, beautiful castles made by more advanced builders, which, I mean, castles are really something you can do for all age levels and skill levels. We'll go with that. But what I want to do is, one, have a semi-historically accurate castle in Minecraft, but I want to actually bring a method to the madness, kind of make castles a little bit more easier. And I've thought about it over the past few days. I've done some more research. I've written down some notes for me. So this is going to be a nice little multi-part series. And before we go any further, I'm going to talk about these signs in front of me, which is generally what this castle I'm building is going to have and what I have planned for. I have a little blueprint on my computer, which we'll get to and go from there. From the outside, we're going to have an armory, a barracks, a jousting area, a well, place for animals, firewood, and a stables for our horses. Going on to the basement, we're going to have the dungeon, storage, servants' quarters, and an armory. Going into, well, and actually, wait, did I write it anywhere? I did not write it anywhere, but somewhere in the basement or on the first floor is going to be a little bit of a barracks, a smaller one for like the knights and stuff, the more higher ups. And then we have the barracks over there for our typical soldiers that are going to be defending the keep. Going into the first floor, we're going to have a kitchen, a dining room, more servants' quarters, and going on to the second floor, a guest room, the great hall, which is different from the dining area. It's kind of like where you throw all the parties and have a ball. Dining room is where more you eat. I got lazy and decided and started writing servants' quarters as SQ, which is kind of awkward because that was the last time I wrote it. And then a solar, which is kind of the family room. Going on to the top floor, our third floor, we are going to have the bedroom for the Lord and his family members. There's going to be a few of those. We're going to have a library, which is actually kind of off, separate. We're going to have a council chambers, which is, I'm assuming, the king talking to his various people who work for him type of thing. I don't know, maybe he's planning an attack or dealing with daily castle stuff that the king has to do. There's not really going to be a throne room in this castle because, one, I didn't want to include it, and two, not a lot of castles had them back then. Throughout the history of castles, it kind of was towards the more end with the richest of the rich of the lords, and then another solar because, hey, we're fancy like that. So I'm going to get into building it. I'm actually going to ignore this part. I want to work on the main castle. So today's episode, I'm going to work on this list as much. I want to keep the video short. So this is going to be a multi-part series, which I am nicknaming Operation Forge, A.K.A. Castle Build. So here is part, I don't want to say part 1, but point 5. So here's episode point 5. Okay, and now that we got that little tutorial done, you can kind of see me in the little time lapse here. I already started. The main structure of the castle, which is going to have most of the important stuff, is going to be a square shape. And I'm going for double thick walls because that way each room can have a customable design. And after the video, I went around and added a third line of blocks to the overall outside of the building. So I'm going to have a 3-wall wide on the outside, I believe. So I can do a little bit more detail on the outside among everything else. So I'm just trying to figure out where everything's going. I want the rooms big enough where I can decorate them, but not too big where there's space for days. So kind of tight and cozy there. In that front little square there is the entryway, and you can I'm right now trying to figure out where the kitchen, servants' quarters, and stuff are going that I mentioned that's going to be on the first floor, along with fitting in hallways and staircases and whatnot. And that's the overall idea behind the design. A good chunk of this stuff I'm going to be doing off camera. I don't think you need to see me build up the walls, add the foundation, And I believe since I recorded this video, I've already added on 2 other chunks on this build. The little dining hall, grand hall thing is going to be coming off the left side of the building, and it's about double the size of this square, so that's a lot of floor and stuff to be added. And then on the right side of the building is like a half circle, which I'm going to make into a library of some sorts. Add some nice fancy design into this that isn't 100% accurate or functional in a medieval castle. I mean, in the library, I want to put some big windows in there, which typically you wouldn't see that in a castle because when it got invaded, bad guys could go through the window, and that just bypasses a bunch of defenses. But to go with the historical thing, I'll probably put some sort of defense in there, whether it's the door being able to be barred or adding a little drop down gate or something that you typically, I don't think would see there, but I'll, I'll figure it out and maybe get some historical references. So, I mean, I definitely want your feedback on this, what you think of the whole video series idea, anything special you'd want to see in there, because I'm going to be building on the outside of this castle, even though it's a super flat world. This is more or less for the fun of it. And if it overall goes well, I might build a second castle and put it into an actual Minecraft world where I have hills and stuff and trees to deal with, making it pretty. Right now, it's just kind of getting the idea and seeing if it's even possible to take something so big and make it down into a simple building style. You can see me quickly typing out each one of the rooms and stuff ideas. I'm just typing it down so I have an idea. So under the staircase is where the food storage would be. There's a little kitchen. And that's pretty much going to keep it for this video. I wanted to have it quick and short and all easy. That's the left side of the building I just mentioned. I'm just showing it off really quick. I've actually already planned that all out. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're excited about the series as I am. I hope you stay around for the series. And, I mean, comment down below what you'd like to see in this castle. I will try to implement it and put it in there, even if it's a little bit on the silly side. And don't forget to subscribe. Other than this is Sergeant Alex, and I hope you have a nice day.